Easter Monday dawned with a gasp around the world. From the heart of Vatican City came the heartbreaking news. Pope Francis, the 266th leader of the Catholic Church, had passed away at the age of 88. Just hours earlier, he had blessed a sea of believers in St. Peter's Square, his frail hand raised in peace during the most sacred of Christian celebrations. Now, the man who redefined the papacy with radical humility and love for the poor had returned to the house of the Father, as Cardinal Farrell solemnly announced. Today we retrace the Pope's final hours, the ancient rites surrounding the death of a pontiff, and how Francis, in death as in life, quietly rewrote history. Few could have foreseen the storm to come. Less than a day before, he appeared before tens of thousands, smiling, waving, and blessing babies, even as he remained wheelchair-bound. His words that day, though delivered by an aide, thundered with clarity, a plea for peace in Gaza and Ukraine, and a condemnation of the bloodlust driving today's conflicts. Those would be his last public words. The next morning, at 7:35 a.m., Easter Monday, the Vatican confirmed his death. His health had been fragile since February, his lungs weakened by earlier surgery and recent pneumonia. Yet none expected the end to come so swiftly. David Gillione of the BBC described the emotional eruption in Rome, people running towards St. Peter's, many in tears. The journey of Jorge Mario Bergoglio was always unconventional. Born in Buenos Aires to Italian immigrants fleeing fascism, once a nightclub bouncer and chemical technician, he would go on to become the first Jesuit pope, the first from the Americas, and the first non-European pontiff in over a millennium. His papacy shattered conventions. He lived not in the opulent papal palace, but in a modest guest house. He washed the feet of prisoners, embraced the disfigured, and championed the poor, migrants, and the earth itself. His final Easter sermon echoed his legacy, urging freedom of religion, justice, and aid to the suffering. Normally, the death of a pope sets in motion a centuries-old sequence of rituals. A chamberlain confirms death by calling the pope's baptismal name 3 times. No reply marks the end. The fisherman's ring, symbol of papal authority, is then destroyed. The body is typically embalmed within 24 hours and displayed in grand repose in St. Peter's Basilica. But Pope Francis chose a different path. In his final act of simplicity, he asked to be buried not in 3 nested coffins, but in a plain wooden one, lined modestly with zinc. He rejected the elaborate catafalque display, instead requesting a more humble farewell. And most striking of all, he asked not to be buried in the Vatican. His final resting place will be the Basilica of St. Mary Major, in the heart of Rome, accessible to everyday people. A pope of the streets now laid to rest among them. It is a choice steeped in devotion to Mary and to the people he served. Grief rippled across the globe. World leaders, regardless of creed, saluted a man who bridged faith and humanity. Ursula von der Leyen hailed his deep love for the poor. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni remembered him as a personal friend. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who had seen him hours before his death, shared in the mourning of millions. Archbishop Stephen Cottrell called him both a holy man and a joy to be around. Witty, warm, deeply human. The Church now enters its most sacred tradition, the conclave. For 9 days, the College of Cardinals will mourn. Then within the Sistine Chapel, they will cast their votes in secret. And when the time comes, the world will watch for white smoke, a new pope, a new era. But how do you follow a man like Francis, a pope who refused titles and throne, yet left a global mark with his unwavering voice for the marginalized? His passing in this Jubilee year, during Easter, a time of rebirth, makes the timing all the more poignant. The man who said he came from the ends of the earth leaves behind a legacy of faith that transcends borders. As St. Peter's bells toll in sorrow and the faithful flood the basilicas in prayer, we're reminded, he built bridges, not walls. In naming himself after St. Francis of Assisi, patron saint of the poor, he set the tone for a life, and now a death, marked by simplicity. His final message? Not one of grandeur, but of love, mercy, and humility. Who will rise to continue the journey? Who will carry the torch of a papacy that forever changed the Church? In the days ahead, history will be made, And we'll be here, bringing you every sacred moment from the Vatican. If this story moved you, hit subscribe. Your support helps us reach more people with this timeless message of faith and change. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, and stay with us as we cover the papal funeral and the unfolding conclave. Join our community for exclusive content, from behind-the-scenes insights to live updates straight from Rome. Thank you for watching.